everyone. Welcome to our self-study session. This is our first session. Okay. Let's start from the class recap. Class is about we need to create class name first, then create the data type of the fields, and then to create constructor, and to connect the fields to the parameters passing from the main method. And then below the constructors, we need to define some methods for the class. So we need to create an object in the main we can call the class. Is it correct?
You mean you create the object and then, you create the object based on the class and then you can use the method inside the class?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. It's for me, a class is like a blueprint of an object. This means that every object we created based on the class, it will have the fields of the class, it will have the method of the class, and it will like the fields and methods and also the property of the classes. So if we create an instance of a class in the program we are working in, that means that we just creating a real things, real object from the blueprint. Yeah, so it's just my understanding of classes. Anyone has any ideas about class?
I think we could take some example here.
Yeah.
Like a car class.
Yeah.
It might have the own band, right? So we have Audi, we have Tesla, or any other car.
So you mean the class car have a field called band,
and there is maybe two objects here,
okay,
which is instance, and they have the own brand, maybe Tesla or maybe Audi or maybe Toyota.
So you have a class have the band as a field, and then you create two instance of an object based on the class car, and then one of the band is Tesla and the one of the band is maybe BMW or whatever.
Yeah.
I have a question about the constructor. In the lessons, we see sometimes we need to type this dot something. Sometimes we don't need to type this dot. Why this happens?
I think it depends on what you pass in the constructor. If you pass the argument, you pass in the constructor has the same name as the field of the class, so you have to specify which field you are talking about. Maybe it's just like his trying to talk about a case. We have a class car, and then this is a field band. If you have a constructor, you pass in a string band in the constructor when initiating a class. You have to specify what band you're talking about. You're talking about the argument band, or you're talking about the field band. So if you use this dot band, which is talking about the class field band, and then the just band without this is when you pass in the argument band. You see what I mean? You assign the passing argument band to the field band. Yeah, this dot band equal band. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other important thing you can think about of class? Yeah.
I'm good.
Maybe can we talk about the default constructor? Is it if we don't write any constructor, is there any default constructor in the class?
It depends on.
Right?
Sorry.
There is.
There is.
That's what we learned last class, right? If we don't specify if there's a constructor, then there is a default one, but we just don't pass any value in it.
Yeah, I think it actually depends on the language, programming language. In C# it is.
Okay, so if we don't write any constructor, it is an empty constructor, which just initiate the class but don't pass in any argument, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So anything special about class we need to discuss before we start the motivation task?
No.
How about the default methods in the class, like toString or maybe normalize?
maybe we talk about toString first because normalize is something we haven't learned about, right?
Yeah.
So what about toString? What is it?
String is meanings to returns when we try to case an object to a string,
Mm-hmm.
it will be called by the program to case the object to the string.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If we talk about another class like integer or
Mhm.
maybe double, we case it to a string, maybe directly maybe directly convert to becomes a string. But in a class, because we have a lot of fields, so we don't have a usual method to convert to string directly. So we may need to override the default methods
Yeah.
to string to handle this.
Yeah, says maybe it's talking about like do you remember the last lesson we write something like console.write9 and then just pass in the object and then it just return it is if
the
the
override.
class of the
class.
The override.
the class, yeah. We have to override the toString method because in the console.write9 it only accepts string. So it will automatically call the toString method in the class. So if you don't override it, it will just directly print out the class name without anything. If we override it, maybe we override, say, remember the last time the example with rectangle, we can override it to print out the length and the width of the rectangle. So when we pass the object in the console.write9, it will return something we override it, maybe display the length and the width of the rectangle instead of just displaying the name of the rectangle or the name of the class. Yeah, that I mean this is the default method of the class toString. Yeah. Also, any other special thing we need to talk about before we start the motivation?
You want to talk about normalize?
Yeah, we can
Uh,
talk
maybe-
about
maybe let's discuss this in the next
Okay.
session.
Okay.
It's because we have not learned it yet
Okay.
in the class.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be more easy to understand if we learn it.
Good, so do we start with data type or introduction to class? There's motivation task.
Motivation task 003 or
So introduction to class,
yeah,
right?
003.
There's a YouTube video, so.
Here's a video, and after that there is question 1. I mean on the page 2 maybe.
Yes.
Yes, maybe we can work on the question 1. Is to create a class student with the attributes like fields, name, age, and grade. As we cannot display the screen of our computer, so just maybe we talk about the data type of the different fields. What do you think the name should be?
String.
String, okay. And about age?
Integer.
Integer, okay. And grade, is it chart?
Double.
It depends, right?
Double.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it is double.
Sure.
Double, yeah. Yeah, depends. It's double, it means 1 to 0 to 100. Yeah, if you want string is maybe A, B, C, D, E, something like that.
Can I use chart?
I don't think so because sometimes you have the A plus or A minus.
Oh,
Yeah. So maybe string or double will be more suitable. Yeah. Yes. So the next question will be use post to display your context with catchy expressions. What does it mean?
I think you need to create the main code, right? In the bottom of the page 1, there's 3 steps. I think we need to do it, and then is it continue to the question 1? Are they related?
I think you mean the tips on working with classes.
No, not related. Right?
I don't think because it's talking about rectangle.
Okay.
Yeah, the question 1 is talking about
The
Students.
Students
Okay.
and use host to display.
Host to
Yes.
But
display.
what is the meaning of host?
I think it's something related to.
Catchy
I think it's talking about toString method. You override the toString method.
Yes,
Yeah,
to
you
display something.
Yeah, to space catchy expression. Is something like that?
So post is something in C#.
I don't think so.
We haven't.
I don't think post is something related to C#.
We could post request in C#.
This is about. I think it's something related to API post. Right? You're
Fetch.
sending
Yeah.
if sending some
Yeah.
request to the website
Yeah,
or
for the
server.
HTTP
Yeah.
methods. But
Maybe we
some of
consider.
the-
Yeah.
some of the-
Maybe we consider it as a toString method.
Mhm.
So we override the toString method, and what do you think we should include in the toString method? I mean, to display as an expression
Of course, all of the fields, I think.
of the fields, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and okay. Do you think we need to create a constructor?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Better to
Okay, so yeah. So what should we do in the constructor? I mean,
constructor, we have passed to three parameters to the constructor.
Yeah.
Name, age, and grade.
Yeah.
Then connect name, list dot name equal to the class
yeah.
class name, and list dot age equal to the age, and
Yeah.
list dot grade equal to the grade.
Yeah, so you mean is we assign the passing argument to the fields of the class. I mean, the passing is with lamp, and then assign it to the lamp field of the class of the student class, right? So you do this dot name equal name, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think we need to say yeah? You do, do you think we need to have some validation on the argument we're passing?
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course, because the
Yeah.
age is impossible to under zero.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. Is there zero age? 0 years old?
I don't think so. Maybe at least
At least
6. I don't know what school it is.
Yeah.
Maybe primary school or college or university, depends. How about grade? Do we have to have some validation on grade?
It depends on the grade. What is the meaning of our grades? Is this it is a double or it is a string?
So
Yep. So if it's doubles,
Mhm.
then it's impossible to under 0 and greater than 100, right?
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it's a string, so we should limit it in combo of the string, like
Uh-huh.
A plus or A to until
Uh-huh.
F, right?
from what you say, I think grade should be double is more easy to control because we only need to consider numbers. We don't need to consider the A, B, C, D, E.
But if you consider A, B, C, D, you can still put in an array and then see if it matches, right?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I see what you mean. I
Because
what
you
yeah,
cannot limit people
Yeah.
just to have numbers.
what I would to if grade is double, what I would suggest to do is write a method called convert to alphabet grade, and then convert your different grade range to different types of
True.
maybe 90% is A plus, and then
That works.
yeah. Because for me, I think number or double is easier to control than string, because string they may pass in capital letter, small letter, plus or maybe sometimes
Yeah,
to keep up.
sometimes they may use the lowercase a,
Yeah.
but there is a difference with the uppercase
yeah.
case in the programming.
Yeah, so we can maybe write a method to convert the number grade to the string grade
Mhm.
and display it. Yes, so we have to create 3 instances of
Of the
class
class.
and review the outcome.
Oh, so okay.
Okay, this is some kind of
Maybe
things.
we
Okay.
So just create 3 names, 3 age, and grades to display, right?
Yeah, 3
Yeah,
students,
I
maybe
think-
student 1, student 2, student 3, right?
I think we're good with that.
Yes. So anything you think about students should be added?
Not really. Just the point 2 is a bit confusing.
Okay, the points to yes. We talk about we should have convert method to convert the numeric grade to string grade, and okay, I think that's all.
That's similar.
That's all. If if we expand it, it will be more and more attributes. So just stick to the question, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
So any question about question 1? Anything you think special about question 1? Okay, so let's talk about question 2. Yes, what is question 2? Maybe. Yes.
Let's create a class called product with
Yeah.
the following attributes: name, price, and quantity.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to choose the data type
Yeah.
for each attribute. So
Yeah.
name is string, price could be double, and quantity integer.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a half?
I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
So inside the class, implement a method called calculate total that takes
Mhm.
2 parameters. So it's the price and the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
This method will calculate the return and total purchase amount based on the provided price and quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So the calculate total should be double.
So return double, you mean?
Yeah, return double.
Yes, because price is double. Yes. Price, quantity. So what constructor should we create for the class product? It should take 3 parameters, right?
Yeah.
Name, price,
Because
and
we,
quantity.
because both of these should be mandatory.
Yeah. So any validation should be done on the constructor.
Of course, the price and the quantity should be greater than 0.
Yeah, that's good.
Should we just pass in 2 parameters though? Like you don't need to really pass in the names, right? Or do we need to? Yeah, we have to.
We have the attribute
Okay.
name. Yes, so we have to pass in name. So we create the constructor. We take 3 parameters. The first one is name, is a string. The second one is price, is double, and the third one is quantity, which is an integer.
Yeah.
So we have to do validation on price and quantity to make sure it's greater than 0.
Mhm.
So that is the constructor. So how about the method? It's called calculate total, which is price time quantity. Do you think any difference between price time quantity and quantity time price? Will there be any difference?
No.
No?
No.
Would that be?
In some programming language, it will case to
Price?
be
Yeah.
an
Oh, like
integer.
integer or double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because the first thing is integer times the doubles,
Right.
Yeah.
and in some programming language, it will follow the first one. But
So-
in C#, I don't sure.
But I think you need to define calculate total anyway. So if you define double, then doesn't matter.
I mean, if what Chen say is about if you use double times integer
Anyway.
in some programming language, it will return double.
Yeah.
But if you use integer times double in some
I know.
programming language, it
It's
will return
integer, right?
integer. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if C# is like this latter one, the program will say some red line here
I know.
because you return something wrong. So
But my concern is because you define calculate total as double.
Yeah.
It's not like dividing numbers, right? So if you're dividing like 2 integers, you need to make one double to return a double. But if you have integer times a double, if you define as a double, then it should take as double. Or do
Maybe
we
we
give a
play
try?
safe, we
yeah.
cover all the
To double.
parameters
Yeah.
to the double
Yeah,
before we
play
do
safe.
the
Yeah.
calculation. Then we
Okay, we have a
we
quick
must
try.
get the
Yeah,
correct
we can try because in some
Yeah.
program languages it's really the case because if you getting some integer and then you return it as double, that should be good because
Sure.
yeah.
I know what you mean. So
But the number is not correct. Right?
In C# it will becomes if we take an integer to times a double, it will
Mhm.
become a tuple.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
No.
that's good.
That's
so
that's
like
so it
either
doesn't
way
matter.
it
Right?
works, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think in some program language it doesn't work right.
Yeah.
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 So to pay safe, we should class it to double anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. Although
We
it's
should- we
waste
should-
of
we
some
should-
memory, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
we can cast double to integer because integer is more precise than double, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the memory size, you mean, right? Do you mean the
I mean-
memory size?
I mean double is less precise than integer, right? Because sometimes some double cannot be converted. I mean, if some number have decimal places, it cannot be represented in double, right?
Yeah.
So integer must be, all integer can be represented in integer, right? I mean, or whole numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mean double is less precise than integer.
Oh,
You see what I
I
mean?
know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's type 0.3, it's come out like 0.2, something like that.
Right,
Oh.
right.
Yeah, you see what I'm struggling with.
I understand.
Okay,
So-
what else? No, I think we're done.
And print outcome, for example, I think there is a toString method, right? In the last part.
Yes.
In your main code, create incidents?
Yeah. You
Oh, the
ordered
product, yeah.
20 units of brown bread at the price of $10 each. So we have to write what method to print this out.
True string.
Yes.
The format?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but we need to override it. Yeah, but why do we need the keyword override? I forget. Why do we need the keyword override?
Because it is already predefined in the compiler.
Oh,
So we need to override the
Okay.
original ones.
okay.
Yeah.
So you mean we have to write the override keyword to let the compiler know we overriding this method
Yeah.
to our new method? Okay.
Yeah.
So override is something we have the similar signature, method signature than the previous one. Yeah. Okay. The next question will be believe you can. Oh, sorry.
There's another.
No, that's
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Please note that you need to replace data type with the actual appropriate data type for the price and quantity attributes, such as decimal or integer. Oh, he's not talking about double, he's talking about decimal. What is decimal?
Decimal is the more precise one, right?
Yeah.
The finance ones usually used in.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's why. Oh, I see what he means. He means we should use decimal to do all calculation instead of double, right?
Well, it depends, right? If you
Um,
don't need things to be too precise, then you can still use
Yes,
double.
I think, yes.
But even if you have any calculation,
Mm-hmm.
the better thing should be use the small instead of the.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But I
If-
think the memory is gonna take more. I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but it's pretty small, so. Yeah.
Yes.
Usually I just explore
Yes.
nowadays.
So I think in this case the number the price is about 10, then should be okay. If you're talking about a billion, then I prefer decimal.
You cannot use it in that case because I think double only takes like 16 space or something like that, 16 numbers. So like the decimal moves. You know what I mean? Like if you
You
have
mean the range of the double?
no, like you can. I think double is like you only take like, for example, 16 digits. So if you have billion, all your digits are moving before the decimal place, so the accuracy is gonna be less. But if you have like a single digit, then you still have a lot of room reserved at the end, then it's more precise in that case. So I mean, yeah, if you're working with big numbers,
Yeah.
it should be with decimals.
Yeah. To avoid any small
Yeah.
changes, and then we call it 1,000.
Agree.
Yeah. Well done.
Next
So
one.
what would you weigh yourself? Weight difficulty, 1 to 10. How about, what do you think? Is it 1 to 10?
I think 5.
That's good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So maybe we move on to the next task. What is the next task?
It's data type, right?
Okay.
Is there any assignment?
Motivation task 4.
Yeah.
Data
Has
type.
to create an array called friends with the
Mhm.
capacity to store 5 friends, and then display the contents friends.
Okay.
Create another array called each of my friends with the same capacity as friends. So it's the same, but one is used for loop, one is used for each method.
So we are working on page 2, right?
Yeah, top of page 2.
The exercise will help you reinforce the knowledge of array manipulation and iteration technique. Create an array called fence with a capacity to store 5 friends. Yes, so we have to define an array and define the size first, right? The size is 5, so what will be the index starting from
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have to specify the size first before we assign anything on it, right? Okay. So if the size is already allocated, can we change it? I mean, can we enlarge it to 6 or decrease it to 4?
Besides the array in C#.
I don't think so. Well, with the method that we're doing right now, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it should. I think we should not resize it, right?
Yeah.
Let me check in the.
You mean change it later on?
Yeah. Well, maybe one day I meet one more friends and I want to make it to 6.
Then you can change it at the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, I want to change it to 6. Or one day I kill
You
my
can
friend.
you can let him or her to see here.
Yeah, because we have 5 people here. Maybe one day
Yeah.
we
You kill someone.
Yeah, we
the
eliminate
additional
someone,
ones,
yeah.
the 6.
yeah, and then we
Google, I see Google said there have function called resize method that can use to update the size of the existing array in C#.
oh
That's good.
resize.
Besides,
Resize it.
Let's try it. Is it work?
I can't I can't find
Does
it.
that work?
I can't find it. So.
Resize. Yeah, there is a resize according to a document. Definition.
What
How
is
do
the
you use it
what is the
though?
data type? Array?
Yeah.
No, it's static void. I mean, there is
So, oh, okay.
Oh,
Function.
array dot.
yeah function. I mean, there is a method inside array. It's a
That is
static
a
method.
static method.
Wow. I think it is going to break down the array and then create a new one. Yeah. Is it
No, I
something?
think that is this actually is a better data structure for the array, because sometimes we have to resize this wise.
Mhm.
But in the traditional array, we cannot resize this. It is
Okay.
pretty hard to use, I think.
So,
Sometimes we
yeah.
need to add someone, so we have to we have to define a new array and then push
Put the
the
whole thing to
put the whole thing.
Okay.
And it takes a lot of the memory.
So yeah. So you mean if we're using array, we should assume that it should be fixed size, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to change the size of something later on, we should use another data type, right? If we want to, we're not sure about the size, and then we may change it in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, as I know, it is the linked list, which is they have
Okay.
not.
So it's something called list, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we use array, we should assume that we do not change the size.
Yeah.
That's I think this is one of the principle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's assume we don't change the size. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So I create an array called fence with capacity of 5. Yes. Clear. So we have to display the content of the fence using loop. So
Using for loop.
for loop. Okay. For
Because
loop.
there is for each loop after.
Yeah. I think we can use a lot of loop. I mean, at least
Do while loop, for loop.
at least 4 loops. Yeah, I mean 4 types of loops we can do.
Yeah.
So use for loop, we have to first of all, what would we do if we use for loop? We define an integer first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An integer for the array index.
Yes, and then for integer smaller than the size, and then I++. do whatever we want then.
They can't have access.
Yeah. So, any suggestion or anything we can talk about the question 1?
No, I think it's something we covered.
Okay, let's talk about
Before.
question 2, right? So we create another we call age of my fence with the sim capacity of the fence of the array. So display the content using for each method. Yes, I think for this one, do you think we have to? I mean, if the first first element in the array fence is called John, and the first element of the age of my fence should be the age of John. Should it be like that?
Could be.
Could be. Yeah, I think there was
Yes.
something related to each other, right?
Okay. Okay.
It should be. It should be. Yes. So the age of fence of my fence, what is the data type should it be? I mean, array of what?
Integer.
Integer array.
Okay.
Or maybe a class array.
What is class
Oh, yeah.
The class array. I think it should be a class array because
Yeah.
the previous question is we have a fence
Mhm.
array and to store 5 fence, but
Mhm.
if we are using the integer array,
Mhm.
we cannot understand the age of the fence who is
Yeah.
the
You cannot relate.
related to the
Okay.
person. So we should use the class array, and the class should be a fence or
Mhm.
maybe persons
Mhm.
which is stored the name and the age.
Okay.
So
I get what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah. So you mean we create a class called fan, and then have a field called name and age, and then we create 5 instance of fan,
Right.
and then put it into array.
Yep.
Right.
So we can relate the fence and the age together without using the index.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that should be a better way, because if you're using index, 5 should be easy to follow. If you're talking about I have many fans, I am sociable, I have 50 fans. Yeah, so yeah, you may end up with some wrong numbers, right?
And
Yeah.
Imagine you sort the age.
Yeah, imagine you sort the age. Yes, maybe if one day you want to know who is your youngest friend,
Yeah, and then once you
it's
sort
possible
it,
to do it,
and then
right?
it's-
Yeah.
yeah, so it's better to create a fan class and then create instance of fan and put it into array.
Okay.
So we can have more traceable code. Yeah. Great job.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So what do you think about this exercise? Is it something we can talk about more? Array data type. Just talk about the array, nothing else.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's just reinforce what we've learned in
Oh, but
programming one. Right?
yeah, but because I look at page 1, it talk about interface.
Anyway,
Yeah, but it doesn't talk about interface.
yeah, and it says data type too. But anyways,
Yeah, you mean what category of data do array class and interface type falls under? I mean the reflectional questions in page 1. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. You see? What is the significance of C# being a statically typed language?
and those are the reflectional questions.
Yeah, you see the page 1?
There's,
Oh,
Oh,
I see.
yeah.
Reflection questions.
Yeah.
Reflection
I think this one is is it statically typed question means statically typed language means it's very strict. I mean you have to define all the type before. I mean to the variables we will declaring, right? Unlike JavaScript, we don't have to declare the type.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is more efficient if we declare the type before of each variable, right?
I think it is also the most
More safe,
important
right?
is easy to read by another program.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
maybe I after a time I read the program
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can easier to understand what is the variable used.
Yes, yes.
Like if I have if I use the JavaScript to present an age, maybe we can have a let age equal to 0 or maybe equal to a number. But sometimes it might be take a string and it's hard to understand by another program.
Yeah, that makes sense. So shall we move on to the next motivation task, right?
Sure.
What is the next one?
Constructors.
Constructors. So we look at page 2. What is the question one?
You want to do the reflectional questions or we jumped to practical questions?
Okay, maybe we do the reflectional question. So anyone can explain what is constructor? What is the purpose?
Wow.
We taught it before.
Let's go to the practical questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe the structure of a constructor.
There's no return type you need to declare because it is returning the self type.
So return the class, right?
Yeah.
So
The foreign class.
can the constructor be private?
Of course. It could be.
But why is this private? Because what they mean by private is who can access the method, right?
He can access by itself.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And so that it can be ensured that to
Users
the
can
user.
change it.
It's called a singleton method.
okay. So
Yeah, it's called a singleton object or singleton class. Oh, singleton class. Yes, singleton class. It's used for I'm not good at using this type. So
yes, I just think about if it is possible to be private, then why do we need a constructor? Because constructor is supposed to be called by when you instantiate a car. I mean, create an instance of a car.
maybe sometimes you don't want to have a new object. You only want to have a static object in the class, but you don't want to add a static in in the main program. Sometimes your program may be a lot of class inside. Sometimes you in this a lot of class you may only access by a static object here.
Okay.
So it could be used by a singleton object.
Okay. So basically, what you mean? Per my understanding is you don't want anyone to create an instance of this class, right?
Yeah.
So it is a safety method because you don't want anyone to change anything inside this class, right?
Not change. I'm not meaning that, but there is a single object is a static object in the whole program, but there is a lot of class, and some class shouldn't access this. Of course, this can be handled by namespace, but sometimes we may only use a static a one object in the whole program, like maybe the Canada in the whole program. It should be a static one, right? So it could be used as a singleton object.
So like constant?
Not a constant. It could be changed by dates, right?
By who? Change who?
By the date, by the day pass.
By the user, right?
By the day pass. Sometimes it's hard to take some example right now, so I need to prepare for the next.
Okay, so if we have a private constructor, the major reason is we don't want anyone to create a class from that, right? So what is the usage? We have to search for it, right? Why do we need to prevent someone to? Yeah. Okay, maybe we move on to any other questions?
This is used in restricting object creation.
Yeah.
Declared private class object is only accessible from within the declared class. It cannot access outside.
Dude. So you mean that it is private? So every time when someone is using that class, you is causing the sim class, the sim instance of the class.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is the static object here.
Okay.
Come again?
I mean,
I just Google. There is an example is Mac class.
yeah.
We use the class we use the one object inside. We
mhm.
don't need to construct new object in the math class. We just use the
I find another example here. Maybe the whole program want to build a database connection. Because in the database connection, in the database server maybe is separated by the programming server. So we may need to build only one connection in the whole program, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a static. This should be have a static cast, a singleton cast for the connection here, because we don't want to build a lot of connection. That will make the computer very
The
easy.
server busy, right?
Yeah.
So yes, maybe if we have some field, we only want to be accessed once. Maybe we will use this static.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the private constructor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cannot be reaccessed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you cannot change anything inside, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So class have a multiple constructor. Yes, we can have multiple constructor, but why do we need some multiple constructors?
Oh, I think the example that we did in class is like one constructor could be taking one argument,
Mm-hmm.
the other one take two.
Yep.
Overloading the constructor.
Yeah.
I think the most important is sometimes we have some fields that is not mandatory, right?
Okay.
That is not mandatory. Sometimes maybe we have the maybe we have a friend
Mm-hmm.
that who is have a first name, last name, or age, or
Middle name.
the fix. But sometimes some people might not have the last name, right?
Okay.
Sometimes some people might only have some culture,
Okay.
only have the first name. So we have so the last name is not mandatory class. So we have we can create two constructor for this case.
Okay. So, okay, what happens if you do not define a constructor? There will be a
Predefined.
predefined one. Nothing, no parameter pass. Just return an instant of object. So the only way to it's not. So the practical question one: create a class white books with this attribute: book name, page number, and year. Okay, but the attribute I think is quite I think we cannot create the attribute exactly like what it say, right? Because we can't have space between. Yeah, yeah. You see what I mean? We can't have space inside variable.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah.
So we should camel case this.
Camel case this or whatever. Maybe just use name. I think name should be good, right? Page should be good,
Page.
right?
I don't know. I think page. I don't know.
Pages.
Page.
Okay.
Page
Can
runs
we-
is
can we-
better.
Can we use
Yes.
book underscore name?
It could be, but that is not a good practice
Okay.
because we have what is the rest? But we have common cultures.
Common practice.
Yes, common practice here
Okay.
for the camel case.
Camel case. You see the camel?
The lower camel case uses like the book name should be the book with the lower case.
The
And,
name
uh,
and it should be capital K.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So determine the suitable data types. What is suitable data types of name?
Of course, string.
String.
Of course, string.
Number.
What number is it?
Number integer.
Integer. Okay. Year should be integer, right?
Integer.
Yeah.
Year, maybe days.
Year.
Year
Year.
would be
Year.
integer.
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 Yeah.
Yeah,
you talk
integer should
about
be
date,
better
yeah.
for the
Yeah,
performance.
for year. As we talk about some validation before, so yes, I think there should be some validation on the class. I mean, in the constructor, page number should not be smaller than 1.
Mhm.
You can't write a book with no pages, and year should be
Like at least like 1900, that kind of thing, right?
maybe
Or
some
1500, that
BC
kind of
something
thing.
like that. Yeah, I mean, year can be string if you're writing some old book,
Yeah.
EC, something like that. Should
Well,
be
But let's not go
Well,
into.
Yeah, we don't talk about this.
We can use it, you can use a
Negative, right?
negative, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we check the year cannot be the future.
yeah. Should be
Should be
Ah, true.
recent.
should be smaller than
Today.
today
Today,
year,
yeah.
this year, right? Current year, right?
Current year.
Yeah, that's good. Allocate memory space for the field using a constructor.
Like this?
Just write a constructor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then utilize a public method named toString. Yes, we have to override it,
we
right?
did it, yeah.
We did it before, huh? So,
So then we tried 4 times, right? Okay.
create 4 instances. You have written or read or read and display them in appealing manner.
Hey, it talks about private.
Okay,
Question 2.
question 2. What is question 2?
In the given example, attempt to change the constructor to a private access modifier
Okay.
and demonstrates implementation in the main program. What is given example?
Do we have to give an example? Is it talking about the white book? We changed it to white book. Is it downstairs? Nothing downstairs?
Nothing. after
So we
that.
talk about, maybe talk about white book if the constructor of white book is private. So we cannot create any instance, right?
If there's no any other method to help them, yes.
That's the thing that we talked about, right?
Yeah, the
Then we
singleton
just
type.
enter and then can change.
Okay, so if it is private, we can't talk. So, maybe can we do something like we have a public constructor, and then we have a private constructor. Every time we create an instance, we call the public constructor, and then we pass, and we call the public constructor inside. I mean the private
It's,
constructor
it's
inside.
actually the constructor, the singleton's package.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have another method to help you call the private constructor,
Yeah.
so that it can ensure that it's the static one.
Okay. So what do you have and what is your how is your practice progressing? Good, quite good. Okay. I think the okay, bravo. Shall we move on, or we should talk about more, or we have more discussion on constructor or classes? If no more question, we move on, right? There's question 6.
Fields.
Fields. Okay, fields. Fields is in the class, right? I mean the attribute in the previous example. They use attribute.
Oh. So do we go to
Refractional questions. What is a field in C#?
Huh?
It's the attribute of a class.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
C#.
Yeah.
Different ways to control access to a field.
What are the different ways? Oh, describe options. I mean, what's talking about is the modifier, like public, private, or even protected. I mean, protected is something you can just only the class inherit from the parent class can access the
It's bit
field.
hard to explain
Yeah.
this,
But
why it's now
just-
because
just-
it is an advanced concept using the
Yeah, we will talk about it later.
the object-oriented
I think it's
programming.
It's
So-
past 6, so I think it's maybe later. You talk
Or we
about it.
just take it as private and
Public,
public,
yeah.
right? Okay.
But why should we have private fields?
Do you want people to change it?
No.
Yes.
So we
Maybe
want,
actually no.
we want people
Actually,
to access it directly.
Yeah, that's true. Directly. The most important is directly access the fields because it is a little bit security issue for programming. Sometimes people maybe use the third party program to access your program memory. If you set everything as public, they can use the third party programming to access your program. So there is a security issue. Right?
Yes.
So when we're talking about a field,
Yeah.
Yeah, private and public.
Yeah, we have private field so that people cannot directly access your field. I mean, if you have the field is public, like if you have a person, there's a field called name. It's a public field. You can call person dot name and then assign
Yeah.
to another name, right?
True.
But if it's a private, you cannot do it because it's only can assigned by the class itself, right?
That's right.
So we have to write a method inside a class to change the name.
Which call setter.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's quite secure. It's just like if consider you going to the bank, and the account number is public, is a public field, and then someone can use something to
Which one?
change the account number, so your money will be stolen.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I get what you mean. So you can't change the number, right?
I can change the field by myself, but I can change it using a method. Yeah. We have a higher level of security.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, but in I think in real life it's more complicated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If no accessibility level, what is the default level if we don't like public private?
I remember there is the private, right?
Default is 5.
Default is private.
Yeah.
Okay.
In C#, right?
Default modifier in C#, what is it?
No, I mean the default
Modifier.
modifies is private in C# only. But I think because it is I remember that in Java there is public. I forgot, but I'm not sure.
Oh, let's see. Oh, it's something I don't want to say. It's internal.
Internal.
Yeah, they say it's internal. The default. But I don't know what is internal. so so talk about another thing.
Okay.
Is it possible to assign value to a field at the field level itself? What do you mean? Add to a field at the field level itself? What does it mean?
So we let's say we set the value for the field, like we divide the fields like string name equal to can we divide it?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
you do definitely.
Is it asking this?
Probably.
Probably. I mean, it's more like a default, right? Default value. If you don't assign anything, it will become can. But why it is applicable? I mean, what is the usage of using this kind of assign value to the field level? Is it only for default level? I mean, why do we need default? Is some field we must have value?
Maybe a college student management system. The student there maybe have fields called students from where country maybe. But we are all the international students, but sometimes students usually students come from Canada, local, right? So the default value might be Canada. So the programmer or maybe some people don't need to enter this every time. It should be default value usage.
Okay, so you mean we have a class called student, and then they have field called maybe name, age, and origin.
Yeah.
And then the origin is default local.
Yeah.
And then we have
Or maybe Canada.
Yeah, local or Canada, whatever. So we can create two constructor. First one will be take all three fields. I mean name, age, and origin. And the second one is just take name and age, right?
No, I mean you can do this in the field level itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to assign any value in the two value constructor.
Okay. So what I mean is you just default the origin, right?
Yeah.
So if we create a class, create an object of a student. So if I am a local student, I just pass in the name and age. That's okay. We default to be Canada, right? So if I'm an international student, I may be passing name, age, and where I come from. So there is a two constructor. So I don't need to worry about creating local or creating international student in that case. Can you refer to one field from another with the same class? What? Can you refer to one field from another field? Oh, consider. Okay. Oh.
I think that is it. I think that is it.
Oh.
I think that is it. Like the age, right?
Mhm.
So we might have that might be a bad example. Maybe we have the first name and last name, so that we have other fields called full names,
Okay.
so that we can just concat two string here.
Okay. So you mean the full name is divided from the first name and this last name,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes, we can do this, but I mean, in terms, I mean, it's a trade-off between theory and practical reason, right? In theory, you shouldn't do that, right? Because you can divide the field from the field of the class. So in theory, we can't do that. But in some practical situation, it's better to have this because maybe you are in a hurry, you don't want to concat anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened when field is declared static? Will it work or not? If it is static, so what is static first?
Oh, it's really hard to explain this.
Means some memory is already allocated for this
Okay.
field.
I think the most easiest to understand is that the object is the only one object, only one type of this object in the whole program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably easier to understand.
Yeah, I mean, you mean this maybe would you say it's about like if you have field, the field belong to the object, right?
Yeah,
If you have a static field, the
Mhm.
field belong to the class.
but this belongs in the whole program instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the belongs of the actually in the class. Like if you have a student class, firstly you have a student's class, and you have static fields called
Number
student
of students,
count.
right?
Yeah. So when you change when you and then you instance two students here,
Yeah.
students A and
Yeah.
students B, and then you change the value in the student B, and then you access the value in from the student A, the value will change.
Okay.
Because this is a single value in the whole program.
Okay. So what you mean is if we have a student class and then we have the name, age, whatever, and then the number of students, right? And then if the class is not static, I mean the field is not static, where we create an object student A from the student class, and then the number of students will be belong to the student A, right?
Yeah.
And then so no matter what I change, maybe I create one student I plus one, and then create another student I plus one. Both of the student number of class field in the student will be one, right? So if it is static, whenever we create a student, we add one to it. So we create student A, and the number of students will be student one student, right? And we create a student B, and then we plus one it, and then the student B will be number of students will be two, right? And then at the same time, the number of students inside student A will be changed to two, right? So it belongs to the whole program, and it does not belong to any instance of the class, right?
I would say that is probably a bad example, but the most usual use case is presenting the class version, serial version. So
Okay.
when we have some change for the class, and then we could change the static fields. Yeah. So it is pretty hard to use in the real life actually for the class.
Yeah. So maybe we have something like the method random is a static method, right? Already
Yeah,
static.
for the method, yes, but
I mean-
that is a field.
Yeah. Method pi is a field, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
already a static
Yeah.
method, because if it is not static, you have to.
But it's
yeah.
but you when you are this belonging a static class.
Yeah.
So
It's another concept,
yeah,
right?
it is another
Yeah.
concept.
So the main difference between static and non-static field is the non-static field belong to the object, and the static field belong to the whole program.
Yeah.
So whatever you change in the static field, it will reflect in every object of the class, right? So that's the main difference. So if you change the field inside an object, it will not reflect in any other classes. Yeah. So what's next? Have you read the concept of declaring Wagnerian calls constant field in C#? Okay, I think this one is quite long.
For,
Yeah,
next time,
maybe
I think.
we can talk about it next time when we stop here. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good.
Okay, 1 second.